Hi everyone, the Middle East woke up today to another wave of shock, speculation, and uncertainty. Across social media platforms, thousands of posts began circulating within minutes, all claiming that Israel's main international gateway had been struck in a devastating attack. Videos appeared showing smoke rising over airport runways, aircraft parked on the tarmac surrounded by flames, and emergency crews rushing across what looked like a chaotic scene. The location mentioned again and again was Israel's most important aviation hub, Ben Gurion Airport near Tel Aviv. Within hours, the story spread across the internet like wildfire. Some posts claimed dozens of aircraft had been destroyed. Others said the airport's runways had been severely damaged. The most dramatic claims suggested that more than 70 aircraft had burned and that all flights into and out of Israel had been canceled indefinitely. For many observers around the world, the possibility that such a critical piece of infrastructure had been destroyed seemed almost unimaginable. Yet the rumors continued to spread faster than any official statement. To understand why this story immediately captured global attention, it is important to understand what Ben Gurion Airport represents. It is not simply another airport in a region full of aviation hubs. For Israel, it is the primary connection to the outside world. Nearly all international passenger travel flows through its terminals. Cargo shipments that support the country's economy also depend heavily on its runways. In times of crisis, the airport becomes even more essential because it serves as a key point for diplomatic travel, emergency evacuations, and military logistics. Because of this strategic importance, any suggestion that the airport had been seriously damaged would immediately raise enormous questions about security, military escalation, and economic stability. Within hours of the first viral posts, analysts began asking whether such an attack was even possible and what it would mean for the already tense situation in the region. The rumors emerged during one of the most volatile periods in Middle Eastern geopolitics in recent years. The confrontation between Iran and Israel has escalated repeatedly over the past decade, moving from shadow conflicts and cyber operations into increasingly direct military exchanges. The recent conflict involving Iran, Israel, and the United States has already produced missile strikes, drone attacks, and military operations across several countries. The atmosphere across the region has become tense enough that airlines around the world have been canceling or suspending flights to several Middle Eastern destinations because of security concerns and airspace restrictions. Travel disruptions have spread far beyond Israel itself. Major carriers have reduced routes to cities across the Gulf and Eastern Mediterranean, while travelers have faced delays, cancellations, and sudden changes to flight paths as airlines attempt to avoid potentially dangerous airspace. The aviation industry, which depends heavily on predictability and safety, is particularly sensitive to any sign that a conflict might spread. Against that backdrop, the viral claims about a catastrophic strike on Israel's main airport triggered immediate global concern. If such an attack had truly destroyed dozens of aircraft and forced the airport to shut down completely, the consequences would extend far beyond Israel's borders. International travel routes would need to be reorganized. Cargo shipments could face severe disruptions. Insurance costs for airlines operating in the region could skyrocket. Investors watching the geopolitical situation would immediately begin reassessing risk across energy markets, shipping routes, and financial assets. Yet, as the dramatic story continued spreading across social media, investigators and analysts began examining the evidence more closely. Some of the videos circulating online showed aircraft fires and emergency evacuations, but digital analysts noticed something unusual. Certain aircraft models in the footage did not match the types commonly seen parked at the airport. Other clips appeared to be older footage from unrelated incidents. A few images displayed visual distortions often associated with artificially generated content. Information warfare has become one of the defining features of modern conflicts, and the Middle East is no exception. During periods of crisis, images and videos often spread faster than official statements or verified reports. This creates a confusing environment in which rumors, speculation, and authentic information all mix together. Military analysts often warn that the digital battlefield can be just as powerful as the physical one. A single viral video can shape global perceptions, influence political debates, and even affect financial markets. In the case of the rumors surrounding Israel's airport, the speed at which the story traveled demonstrated how quickly narratives can form in the modern information ecosystem. At the same time, the broader strategic reality of the region makes such concerns understandable. Airports have always been considered high-value targets during military conflicts. Disrupting a country's main aviation hub can damage its economy, interrupt travel, and send a powerful psychological message. Even a temporary shutdown can create ripple effects throughout global transportation networks. In the past, similar incidents have occurred during conflicts around the world. Missile strikes near airports, airspace closures, and temporary suspensions of flight operations have all happened during periods of military escalation. In some cases, airports have been forced to close for days or weeks until security conditions stabilized. Israel itself has experienced disruptions to aviation in previous years when missile attacks or security alerts forced authorities to temporarily halt flights. Even brief closures can cause chaos for airlines and passengers because thousands of travelers may suddenly find themselves unable to leave or enter a country. In the current geopolitical climate, analysts say the risk of aviation disruption is particularly high. Missile technology has advanced dramatically, and several countries in the region now possess weapons capable of reaching distant targets with significant precision. Air defense systems have also improved, but no defense system can guarantee a 100% interception rate. For this reason, airlines and governments constantly monitor developments across the region. Even the possibility of missile launches or drone activity can trigger flight cancellations or route changes as a precaution. While the viral story about massive destruction at Israel's airport remains unverified, the broader situation still carries serious implications for global travel. Aviation authorities, intelligence agencies, and airline executives are all closely watching the evolving conflict between Iran and Israel, because any escalation could directly affect airspace safety. Economic analysts are also paying attention. The Middle East sits at the crossroads of some of the world's most important trade and energy routes. Instability in the region can influence oil prices, shipping insurance costs, and international investment flows. Markets often react quickly to geopolitical uncertainty, especially when it involves strategic infrastructure or transportation networks. Another factor adding to the confusion is the rise of advanced digital technologies capable of generating realistic images and videos. Artificial intelligence tools can now create convincing scenes of explosions, fires, or damaged infrastructure that appear authentic at first glance. This makes it increasingly difficult for viewers to distinguish between genuine footage and manipulated content. Experts warn that as these technologies become more accessible, misinformation during crises could become even more widespread. Governments and media organizations are now investing heavily in digital verification tools to analyze images and track the origins of viral content. For ordinary viewers watching events unfold online, the experience can feel overwhelming. One moment, a dramatic claim appears in a headline or social media post, and the next moment analysts are questioning whether the footage is authentic. The result is a fast-moving cycle of speculation and correction. Despite the uncertainty surrounding the viral claims about Israel's airport, one fact remains clear. The broader confrontation between Iran and Israel continues to reshape the security landscape of the Middle East. Military forces across the region remain on high alert. Diplomatic efforts aimed at preventing further escalation are ongoing. Global powers are watching closely, aware that any major incident could draw additional countries into the conflict. For civilians and travelers, the immediate impact is often seen through disruptions to daily life. Flight cancellations, delayed shipments, and changing travel advisories are some of the most visible consequences. Airlines must constantly evaluate whether operating in certain airspaces remains safe, and they often make decisions based on the latest intelligence assessments. The aviation industry has learned from past conflicts that acting quickly can prevent tragic outcomes. When security risks rise, flights are rerouted or suspended long before missiles or drones appear in the sky. These precautionary measures sometimes create inconvenience for passengers, but they are designed to prioritize safety above all else. As the situation continues to develop, the world is once again reminded how interconnected modern systems have become. A single regional conflict can influence global transportation, financial markets, and political alliances within hours. News travels instantly, but verification takes time. The viral story about the destruction of dozens of aircraft illustrates how quickly dramatic narratives can take hold in a digital environment. Whether the claim ultimately proves to be misinformation, exaggeration, or something closer to reality, it highlights the importance of careful analysis and reliable reporting. For now, governments, airlines, and intelligence agencies continue to monitor developments across the Middle East. The conflict between Iran and Israel remains one of the most sensitive geopolitical rivalries in the world, and every new incident has the potential to shift the balance of power. As people across the globe follow the latest updates, one question continues to echo through international media and financial markets alike. In an era where wars are fought not only with missiles, but also with information, how can the world separate fact from fiction when the next major headline appears on a screen? And perhaps the more important question is this: if the tensions between regional powers continue to escalate, will the next major disruption be limited to rumors on social media, or will it become a real event that reshapes the global landscape overnight? For viewers watching these developments unfold, the lesson is becoming increasingly clear. In today's interconnected world, the battle for information may move just as fast as the battle on the ground, and the truth often emerges only after the noise has already traveled around the globe.